All right, now we'll talk about question number 9. Question number 9 is talking about what is incurred loss. In this case, we have a different concept with there's the paid loss, there's the case reserve, there's incurred loss. This is actually a very important concept that you can start seeing a word reserve. Reserve is the money that the insurance company need to set aside. Be like, okay, there are things that I will need to use this money to pay for the policyholder in case they have accident. There are two types of reserve. One reserve is called a case reserve. Is some people already made a phone call telling me, as the insurance company, telling me like, oh, they got an accident. I know I'm gonna pay for this guy. I just have not paid out yet. So that is called a case reserve. You have a case, you're gonna reserve for the money. There also other reserve that they not reported yet. They have not reported to me yet. I need to set aside the money. I know it's gonna happen. It's just not happened yet. So there's also money you already paid. There's a paid loss, there's a reserve, and also there's the incur loss. Incur loss is actually a concept. It's actually very important. It's like within a year, how much money is suddenly becomes my liability, becomes my as insurance is my thing. I'm gonna pay you. So this is actually a really good example. So in 2019, you as insurance company, you paid $300. In 2020, you paid $400. You would think that it's very simple. All I need to do is just to pay out the money. But you know what? There's some other cases that you actually know this accident quite well. You know, in the end of 2018, which is December 31st, you already have a reserve of $400. What does that mean is you already guessed that I'm going to pay out for this guy or this case for $400. That's what your reserve, that's your guess. Now, when did this accident happen? It could have just happened in 2018. It could have happened even earlier, anytime before December 31st, 2018. It could happen, but we don't care. We just know there's the case that we originally think by the end of the 2018, we think we need the $400. And in 2019, you actually pay out $300. If you think it was only worth $400, you paid $300. Wouldn't that make that by the end of the year, you should only just estimate to say, oh, I only need $100 to clear this whole case. But no. Because you paid $300, because you deal with the customer more, you have to keep adjusting your reserve, your estimation. You'd be like, I originally think of $400, I paid out $300, but right now, you know what? I still think there are $425. That's the numbers given. I still think I owe that. So what's the difference is suddenly there's $325. This is the money out of nowhere incurred. Not that 300. 300 is really just originally I think there was a 400. I just paid out. It didn't rise from this year. It rose like $400 from that previous year. Is actually somehow happened or incurred $325 within this year. Okay, now that's how I try to explain this number. Now, what is the scientific way to calculate this number? The scientific way to calculate this is you actually pay $300, right? Add with the reserve, case reserve change. If you actually end up with only $100, it'll be $100 minus a $400 in perfect case scenario. 3 minus 300 equal to 0. Nothing happened. $400, I paid the $300, I left $100, nothing happened additionally. I'm just keep paying out the money as planned. So the incurred loss in this case will be 0. Now, what if it's not like that? What if you're actually you have a different reserve? It will be $300 you paid, the end reserve $425 minus the beginning reserve, then it will be, I already paid out. I wasn't expecting a down or decrease in negative 300, but I'm not. I'm actually getting another additional $25. So you incurred $325 in this case. Now, let's continue with the year. Now, by the end of the December 31st, 2019, you think this case only worth $425. You paid out $400 this year. Would it naturally be, I only have $25 left, need to be paid? And in reality, you updated that number for 375. You know what actually happened? What actually happened is there will be another $350 incurred in this year, because I was thinking $25 I can deal with is not. No. You need another 350 to deal with it. That's what's incurred. How do you find this 350? There's a formula, which is a $400. What you paid? Use ending reserve 375 minus the beginning reserve 425, which is a 400 minus 50 equal to 350. So the incurred loss formula in this case equal to pay the loss in that particular year plus ending reserve minus beginning reserve, give you the incurred loss.